tie on your right hand side. Now, the smaller end of the tie, you're going to have to do some playing around with. You're going to have to do some trial and error, because depending on where I place this small end of the tie, it's either going to make my tie longer after I've completed the knot or shorter. And you always want to remember that you want the end of your tie, after it's been tied, you want the end of it to hit your belt buckle right about the middle of your belt buckle, maybe just the top of your belt buckle, but you don't want it to be any shorter or any longer than that. Okay, so what I do is I typically place this end of the tie like right about the middle of my chest here, and the first step is you're going to take the large end of the tie and you're going to loop it over the small end, and as you loop it over, what you're going to do is you're going to take this large end of the tie and you're going to push it through the opening here. So you're going to push it through the opening that you just created, you're going to pull it, and then you're going to just kind of angle it over to your left a little bit, and you're going to have the beginning of that Windsor knot here. So now you're going to take this large end of the tie and you're going to go underneath the small end of the tie, and you're going to feed the large end of the tie through that original opening that you created, and you're going to pull it down through, so that now you have this nice little triangle base, and this is going to form the basis of your Windsor knot, and this is what gives the Windsor knot that nice full look. So now that you have this base knot here created, what you're going to do is you're going to take two fingers and you're going to place these two fingers directly on top of that knot, holding the small end of the tie and the knot. And now I'm going to take the large end and I'm going to loop it around over those two fingers. Now, it's very important that you keep these two fingers here in place, because this is going to create that opening for you to thread the end of the tie through in order to complete your knot. So I've placed my fingers, I've looped the large end of the tie over, and now I'm going to push the large end of the tie through the opening, the original opening that I created. And as I've done that, I now have this large end of the tie available to thread through that opening that I created with my two fingers. And I'm just going to pull it down, and as you can see here, we have that nice symmetrical, full-bodied looking Windsor knot. So after you've created the Windsor knot, what you want to do is you want to adjust it so that it fits nice and snug around your collar. The way that I recommend you do that is I recommend that you hold the small end of the tie and you take the large end, and you're just going to push the knot up as you're pulling the small end through. And keep in mind here that you want to do this at about a 90-degree angle. I found that if you do this, if you tighten your knot and adjust your tie at a 90-degree angle, that helps to create a nice three-dimensional, full-bodied looking knot. Whereas if you're just pulling down, what will happen is it'll drag that knot down and flatten that knot, and you'll lose a lot of that three-dimensional full-body look. So, all right, there we go. Now I have that full Windsor knot that I've created, and I am going to flip my collar down. And as you can see here, this is just a great looking knot to wear with a spread collar.